Welcome everyone to a very simple and short video. Let me start by telling you what this is going to cover, since some of you might be here expecting something else. So I'm not here to compare frames of games, gigahertz processors, or quarter-like performance ratios for Intel and AMD. I'm going to be here to give you a simple answer whether to buy Intel or buy AMD for your computer build, and that's it. So you need to know which is better. Well, first I'm going to say no, you don't. You need to know which one is better for you. Straight up, if you have a budget that is theoretically limitless for your build, go with Intel. Simple as that. If you do have a budget, let's say like less than 1,000, excuse me, you might want to consider some different options. Now, assuming that you don't have a budget and you're willing to spend as much as it's going to take to build this ultimate PC of yours, I say go get the highest, most extreme, expensive Core i7 out there that you can find. Just looking at Newegg's website here, you can see that the most expensive AMD processor they sell is only $200. Here, let me bring this over. It's only $200, free shipping. And the most expensive Intel one is over $1,000. So this doesn't mean that you're going to get 5 times the performance because it's 5 times the price. These processors have a decreasing marginal utility, and for those of you that don't know what that means, simply put, it's every dollar that you spend on your CPU, the less and less performance you're going to get back. Now, don't get confused, you still get a better performance per dollar, but the more dollars you spend, the less extra performance you'll get. So obviously, if the price isn't a factor for you, you just get the best of the best and max out your performance with the Intels over here. But for the majority of us, we're looking into the price before we purchase the items. So back to the main question at hand, Intel or AMD. If you take a look at this graph here, I'm going to bring up that I very quickly made. Not the best looking, but this is the comparison of AMD and Intel's price to utility, or basically your satisfaction, your performance with the product. So you can see near same performance from AMD than Intel for a lot less price. From this first part here, there's no real numbers here, but you can look it up yourself. I'm not here to do detailed numbers here for you, but at an earlier price, AMD can match Intel's or even be better in some cases. But at this one point here, AMD stops selling the price. Let's say that was the 200 mark back in this one right here, because that's the most expensive AMD right now, according to Newegg's website. I'm sure you can find other websites, but right here, AMD stopped selling at this price. It doesn't produce any processor that costs more than $200 right here in this case. But Intel does, so they keep going. But as you can see, the more and more money you spend, the less it goes up. I mean, from this point to this point, you get a huge increase in performance. You know, from maybe like $50 price point to $150 price point, you're going to get a really, really big increase in performance there. But from, you know, a $300 price point to a $500 price point to a $1,000 price point, you don't get as much performance, but you still do get a better performance. AMD stops after a certain point, so if you're trying to spend less than $200 on a processor, then AMD might be the way to go for you. It'd be very difficult to find a matching product from Intel that gives the same exact performance at AMD at the same price. Intel is more expensive. But AMD can't compete after a certain level. They just haven't created the processor to match the efficiency of Intel's architecture or Intel's technology. But AMD has managed to create the same performance. Before, let's say, like an i5 for a cheaper price. So you can compare like the AMD Bulldozer or the whole 8-core editions of AMDs to Intel's i5, and you can get some very similar performance. But you might want to take note that some games will tend to favor one of these architectures. They will just run better on an Intel or an AMD system, vice versa. Not all games will take advantage of AMD's 8 cores, so you might be able to get away with an Intel quad-core, like an i5, and still get a same performance or even better performance because the game doesn't utilize all the stuff that AMD will give, at least not yet. So not all these games are going to take advantage of the FX 8-core processors that AMD offers, but they will utilize some of Intel's hyper-threading technology and stuff like that. At least for now. In the future, we might start to see some games favor more cores, and AMD can create a higher price match for the top-of-the-line CPUs, perhaps. But for now, in my opinion, I recommend you do some research yourself, find a CPU that will meet your performance needs, so maybe you're not, you know, running Skyrim in ultra settings. And if you can get some same performance from AMD processor, then I'd say just go for it. You know, spend some less money, you can save that money, and you don't really lose any performance if you're only searching for a certain point, depending on what games you're going to be playing. You can even use that savings, I would say, on getting a better graphics card, because that would give you a better performance on games than a CPU would, or maybe a large SSD so that your system can boot faster. You have some more choices, but there isn't really a final answer. but I hope this helped narrow down your choices. So thanks for watching, subscribe if you like these videos, and more importantly, let me know if you would like more. I love taking suggestions, so if you have any videos you want me to make, please do not hesitate to ask, comment, message me, however you can reach me. I'll check those, I'll respond as quick as I can, and then usually I'll get a video out as soon as possible. So thanks for watching again. Please comment below for any follow-up questions you might have, and I'll see you guys in the next video.